President Biden responded Tuesday to revelations published this week that his lawyers found classified documents from his time as vice president at his former office in Washington last fall. He told reporters in Mexico City that he is, quote, surprised by the news, but praised them for doing what he says should have been done, which was to contact the National Archives about the discovery.
Now, Biden is facing some public scrutiny over this, but host of the daytime talk show The View, Joy Behar, doesn't seem to be very bothered. Let's take a look.
Well, we all know that Trump is a liar and a thief. You know? We know that. So it's not that big a jump to say that he obstructed and he lied. We don't think that Biden is a liar and a thief, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. That's partly what's going on. The lying has been so invasive, so ubiquitous, that no one will believe the truth anymore. And that you can put that at the feet of Donald Trump, who started the lying.
Oh, Joy. Joy. She manages to take what I think would be a perfectly defensible position, which is that these are, despite very on-the-surface similarities, different instances. I mean, the major difference being that Joe Biden tried to get back the documents that Donald Trump did not. That seems to me a pretty key difference. But she manages to just butcher that difference and I think make everyone roll their eyes when she say, well, no, I have utter faith in Joe Biden because I worship him.
No one thinks Biden's a liar. No one's ever coined the phrase "lying Biden."
Yeah, Joe Biden's never misrepresented his background or any. It's incredible.
Joe Biden, in some ways, is the proto-George Santos. I mean, there are a lot of mulligans in his history.
Plagiarizing a speech was the thing he was known for.
Correct.
For years.
Correct.
4 years.
Absolutely. Look, I think this is such a crucial point because so many times liberals will have the right substantive position and they manage to shoot themselves in the foot by overextending their argument and making these broad kind of moral claims that belie the fact that even if they didn't have the right side of the argument, they would have sided with this human being because it's all about red versus blue and good guy versus bad guy and not actually about the substantive underlying criticism here.
Yeah, but some liberals have really painted themselves into a corner, even though it is different, a little bit, but just taking it so seriously that he had these documents without any evidence that these documents were like national security threatening. I mean, they classify everything because the government is overly secretive about everything. And now, so I watched some cable news last night, and CNN treating this with utter solemnity, honestly, too seriously. This is not a big. Frankly, look, I'm being honest with you. It's not a big story.
So you think they're treating these documents seriously?
They have to, but they have this panel with all these people and like, oh yeah, wow, we got to really have this investigated and looked into.
To try to contrast
it frankly sounded silly, yes, because they took
Trump
that so seriously, which it was more serious because Trump was. As Trump is combative about it, and the FBI came in and raided his premises in a way that I think was probably unnecessary, although that is characteristic of all police raids, where they don't do it in a very friendly to the person whose property is being raided sort of way, and that is itself a problem. One normal, ordinary people deal with all the time, not just political figures. But yeah, and then on the other side, I watched a little bit of Fox, and there was a lot of this is double standard because they really threw the book at Trump over this, and Joe Biden was doing it too, and it's just I guess it shows you when you're just like, if you're utterly committed to the position Joy Behar takes there, that everything Trump does is pathologically dishonest because he's Trump, orange man bad. You have to do that, and then if you have a shred of integrity, you have to be really freaked out about Biden too.
Right.
Which she does not have, so she did not have to be freaked out about Biden.
Well, despite his own document snafu now coming to light, President Biden was critical of documents found at Mar-a-Lago last year. Here's what he said about that on CBS's 60 Minutes.
How anyone could be that irresponsible? And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that I mean names of people who helped, or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
The White House has been tight-lipped about why the administration didn't come forward about this sooner, at least to the public. The documents found are said to include U.S. intelligence information, briefings on foreign nations like Ukraine, Iran, and the U.K. According to the AP, the White House has said the Department of Justice is combing through the documents marked classified. And I want to really hit on a point I said earlier, which is like they classify way too much stuff. They're trying to keep their doing secret from the American people. this is not a partisan thing. This is just the nature of the intelligence beast. They're involving themselves in matters that the American people do not approve of, that often violate the Constitution in terms of spying, in terms of regime change, in terms of our support for things the American people don't even support, and they try to keep it secret. So I get a little. It's not surprising that the mainstream media has this exactly wrong. They're landing on it's so scandalous and scary that, like, what if someone read a document?
We have to keep the government secret.
It's laughable. It's laughable. Your job is to find out what is in those documents and share it with the American people.
Yeah.
Some things need to be kept secret. Some, yes, intelligence operations we have that are legitimate need to be secret, fine. But they keep so much stuff secret, and it shields them from accountability. That should always be the bigger story. And it's not even on the mainstream media's radar.
Do you think that Biden in that clip got out over his skis too much in saying, who could ever do this? This was such an irresponsible act. Like, who could have classified documents lying around? And then that's a lesson.
Yeah.
And why you should never.
You.
There, but for the grace of God goes I seems to be the lesson.
Well, and it reminds me a little bit of that Fauci deposition, which I've come back to a couple times, where he's asked about signing off on. They had the pause on gain-of-function research, but the policy was that they could avoid the pause. They could do it anyway. They could do a gain-of-function experiment if it was deemed important by someone, by Dr. Fauci. And he's asked during this, many hours deposition, well, did you sign off on any of those? Or were any of those signed off on? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, well, did you personally sign those documents? Like, a lot of documents crossed my desk. I have no idea. That's not good. It's not good. You gotta, if there's we need officials who are cognizant of the things they're signing and would remember big decisions being made. Like, he doesn't remember the classified documents he has hiding in a closet of an office.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that pre-COVID, a crisis of this magnitude hadn't necessarily come across the transom. So the idea, even if there were kind of unmanifested risks to gain-of-function research, I'm not sure that it might have been as notable to him in the moment as it obviously is now.
I don't know. They paused the research for a reason, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Good reasons.
That's fair.
I think. Anyway, we will have more Rising right after this. Please stay tuned. Thank you.